Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Tuesday, the 9th of June, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the macro. We can see here the dollar is up this morning. Most other currencies are down against the dollar. So dollar's just ticking up a little bit. Still short-term bearish, medium-term bearish, and long-term bullish. Remembering this is my weekly, my daily, and my 60-minute chart. If you've done our training course, you'll understand this view on markets, and of course my long-term, medium-term, and short-term point and figure charts as well. So the dollar just having a little bit of respite this morning, but it has had a bad couple of weeks. Eurodollar is therefore just falling back a little bit and is just moving into bearish territory there on that short-term chart. So we expect to see dollar strength playing out a little bit this week. Here we see the Japanese yen, dollar just weakening, the yen actually just strengthening against the dollar. Dollar buys less yen, 107. So we're seeing just a little bit the risk on trade there, and that's the yen, and we see sterling sitting at 126, having been quite strong against the dollar recently, and the euro 112. Sitting there, sterling. Against the Swiss franc, we're sitting at 120, and the Aussie dollar, we're just seeing sterling here has been pretty weak, well the Australian dollar pretty strong, but Aussie dollar just now pulling back a little bit there, so a bit of Aussie dollar weakness. Bitcoin still sitting at that 9,600, been in the doldrums for a little while, for several weeks we've been going sideways, but this is looking like a triangular pattern, so we could see a break to the upside, breaking that $10,000. The S&P 500 index continued its run last night, up 1.2%. So it's still looking pretty strong, of course not yet making new highs. The NASDAQ 100 did make new all-time highs on Friday, just pulling back a bit yesterday, and the Dow sitting 1.7% higher yesterday. The futures suggest we're going to open down today, down 1% on the S&P, and on the NASDAQ E-mini down 0.5%, so we are seeing a bit of fall there, and on the FTSE future we're down 2% today, so we're just seeing that as well. The DAX we're seeing down 2.2%, so we are just seeing a little bit of a sell-off here, but we're still very much in bull trend there, and the CAC Quarante down 2% as well. So equities are falling today. This is quite interesting there. Japan was fairly flat. The Hang Seng was up 1%. A lot of Asian markets rebalancing from Friday's rise in the US markets, and the Shanghai Composite up 0.6% as well. In India, the Sensex down 0.7%. It really has struggled a little bit to get back above the cloud on the lagging line here. So we are just seeing some inherent strength in India. And if we take a look at crude oil, we're down 1.7% there, and WTI we're down 2%. So crude prices are just falling back a little bit there. Gold is up this morning because that we're just seeing the risk appetite is lower, so we're seeing gold just starting to get a little bit of a resurgence there. Not yet into bullish territory on the short-term chart. Here we see the trading range, so it's quite key on gold. And US 10-year yield sitting at 0.8%. The three driving stocks, of course, for the NASDAQ 100, a third of the index, are Apple. It's still holding its new highs. Amazon, of course, also holding its new highs, and Microsoft just struggling to break to new highs. So it's the one stock that hasn't quite managed to break out yet, but still looking pretty strong. These three stocks really accounting for a third of the NASDAQ, so that's what key to watch there. Just looking at the energy mix, we see emissions they're down 1% this morning, so not yet falling back, and in fact looks like what was resistance is becoming support. We are seeing gas prices falling quite heavily, especially in Europe. TTF down 7% today, having broken that critical €5.50 level. We are seeing now they've just come back below that level, so we are still seeing some downside potential there for European gas prices. German power down 1%, but still out of its trading range that we saw last week, so still looking more bullish, and we are just seeing a little bit of a pullback, failing to make a new high at the moment, and the lagging line just hitting resistance on the cloud there, so that's key as well. But that's it for today. Until tomorrow, Happy charting. See you then.